Hey, Jonathan here with Central Sound. Here we have a Sony WH-1000XM4 headphones. Common problem, hinge swivel piece breaks and causes the headphones to fail, so you can't wear them anymore. I am going to show you how to replace that part on the left side right here of these headphones. We do have this replacement part available at centralsound.co as well as our custom upgraded parts like these. First step to replace this hinge swivel would be to remove the ear pad. So you would use a small tool like I have here that you can pry up, and there's little plastic clips that hold the ear pad in place, and you just need to unsnap them and remove the ear pad. Then remove the foam piece underneath the ear pad. Be careful for this sensor, you don't want to damage that. And there are 4 screws that you would need to remove, and they're right there. Once those screws are removed, you're going to remove the back cover of the ear cup, and there is a small groove in between the cover and the ear cup. You want to put something in there and push it away from the ear cup. Once it's loose, you can lay it flat and remove the back cover. Be careful, there is one wire and one ribbon connector piece here, so be careful not to damage those. Now you're going to remove this connector from the board. It comes off very easily. Once that's removed, you can unscrew the mounting piece holding the ear cup to the hanger. So there's 2 screws holding it on. Once those screws are removed, you can pry the hanger piece away from the ear cup, and you could start on this side, pull it out somewhat, and then you can work on the other side, which should come right out since it's unscrewed. So be careful not to damage the wires inside when removing this ear cup. So once the ear cup is completely off the hanger, you could set that aside. Next step is to remove the mounting piece. Then remove the small blue rubber O-ring. Be careful not to break this part. And you can leave it around the wire, that's fine. Then you want to remove the backing of this hanger. Pry up underneath there, and I'm using a spudger tool. Just kind of work it all the way around, and I started on one side, and then once I get halfway in, I move to the other side. It does come up fairly easy. Be careful not to damage any wires. There are wires underneath this part. Then once it's loosened, it will unsnap. You should hear an unclicking sound. And then it's completely free. You could put that aside. Make sure it's not damaged. Now remove the wire from the hanger bracket. Once that's removed, you can remove these 2 screws. Make sure to put these screws aside. Do not mix them up with the other screws. They are different sizes. Once that is removed, you can put that aside. There is a metal clip that is holding this piece on here. Now, if your piece is broken or the clip is gone, that's okay. We sell replacement we sell this replacement part with the metal clip included. Um, so this one is still intact. Everything is okay on this. This is just a demonstration, but yours might be missing some pieces. If your clip is still attached, this is how you would remove it. So you want to push down in those two holes with something small. I'm using a small flathead screwdriver. And then once you push both down, on the other side you will see the clip has came out a little bit. And then once it does, it makes it easier to remove it. Now you can set that aside. And this piece should just come right off very easily. And then you will remove it from the wire. And that's what it looks like when it's removed. Like I said, yours might be broken. We have replacement parts like this with the metal clip included, so you get both parts, and this is how you would install it. You feed it through the connector and the wire. And push it all the way in against the headband piece, and then install the metal clip. You just want to position it in place and then apply some pressure. It should go in there fairly easily. If it's not going in there easily, you might have it be trying to install it the wrong way, so just flip it around. And then put the outside hanger piece on first and attach it with the screws that you removed earlier. Once again, make sure to keep those separate from the other screws. They are different. After you installed the screws, you'll put the wire and secure it inside the hanger piece once again and position it like it was, and I'm using a small tool to push it down in there. Make sure it's in there far enough, and then we can put the other back cover of the hanger piece on there. So you want to position that accordingly and apply pressure all the way around. You should hear some snaps, and the adhesive is still on there, so it may not be necessary to apply adhesive. I did not during this video, and it seemed to be okay, so you should be fine. Once that's installed, you will push the small blue O-ring back into place. I'm just using my fingers for this one. Just kind of roll it up in there. Make sure it's secure. Now you want to install the bracket piece that holds the ear cup back onto the hanger. So once again, just like we removed it, we're going to feed it back through that connector piece and the wire. And then once that is in there and in place, we're going to flip it over. So once it's flipped over, we'll flip to the other side, then we're going to install that ear cup back into the hanger. So once again, be careful for those connector pieces and the black wire there. So you're going to position the one side that has the screws first, then gently pull the other side and push it into the hole. Just like that. And once it's in the hole on that side, just push it in with your thumb, make sure it's in there all the way. And then install those two screws that you removed earlier. Once again, make sure to set those aside in a different spot. Do not mix them with the other screws, they are different. Next step would be to connect this connector back into the board. Be careful with these parts, they are fragile. Just make sure it's plugged in all the way. Now it appears this ribbon connector became disconnected. If that happens to you, you can reconnect it into the board right here. Make sure that white line is facing upwards. Now once everything is connected and secure, we can position the back cover in place and make sure there's no wires or anything on the outside getting pinched when you put this cover back into place, and make sure it is flush and lined up properly before attempting to screw the screws back in. So everything looks okay. I'm going to go ahead and grab those 4 screws that I removed earlier and put those back in. Once the screws are screwed back in, we can position this foam. Make sure the side with the sensor has the cutout for it. And then also same thing with the ear pad. Make sure the sensor part of the ear pad, the opening, is lined up with the sensor. And once it is in place, you just apply pressure all the way around the rim, and you should hear some snaps, so they should be snapping in place. I'm going to go ahead and test this swivel, make sure everything's working, and it seems to be working fine. So the repair is complete. Once again, we have these replacement hinge swivels for the left and right side. We also have replacement ear pads, and also the slider cover pieces on the headband we do sell as well. Links to order in description and comments.